Hello. I don't know which internet provider you've got. Mine is Virgin, and I'm never quite sure what I think of Virgin. Oh my goodness. When I signed up to Virgin, I got a really poor reception after, what, a month or two. And I called them and I asked them, what's the problem? And they blamed BT. Now I'm told quite firmly that BT doesn't provide any of their cabling, that they don't know who I could possibly have spoken to who would have said this. This was, what, 5 years ago. And now they're doing essential work. They did essential work last week, I think, and this week. And so I find myself in a position where my internet suddenly stops altogether. I can't do anything. In fact, it stopped halfway through the Conservative Party speech by Liz Truss. I don't think I missed a great deal. In fact, I managed to catch most of that on my mobile phone. And I will post my own comments about that as soon as the internet becomes viable. But I've just been speaking to two charming people in Virgin, so although I would castigate the Virgin company, I applaud some of their staff. There was a lovely lady called Suella, not Suella Braverman, but Suella. She was also in Birmingham, oddly. And there was a simply charming fellow called Alex up in Teesside, near Stockton. And he was very nice. He was very nice, completely unhelpful, really, because he didn't have much access to the tools to be able to help me. And he couldn't tell me when my service was going to be back on because the tools weren't working, quote. But he couldn't have been more personable and more charming. It doesn't take away from the fact that Virgin as a provider is unreliable. And in order to get the basic package, I hesitate to use that word, as it's been overused by Liz Truss with reference to what Kwasi Kwarteng has been providing her. But in order to get the basic package and to get my internet to function even remotely, I have to pay for the top amount. And I slightly resent that, I must say, particularly when there's a complete outage for one day and I have to run off to a cafe or something to access the internet so I can post things. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And I was told that I can't leave Virgin. I'm still in contract until the end of the year or next year. That's what I'm told. So, and according to the Ofcom rules, which I know very well, I have to accept what I'm told, because the Ofcom rules say that the internet provider is only really held responsible when the service has been removed for over 2 days. So I think when we're looking at this revolution that Liz Truss is trying to engineer, and when we're looking at her big package, then we need to ask, if she's saying everybody should have a mobile signal, yeah, everybody should have a mobile signal, and everybody should have a reliable internet. It's no good paying top whack for something that is not reliable. If it's not reliable today, then it's not reliable. And it doesn't matter how personable is the agent on the other side. Very often they're not, but in this case today, I waited, I think, half an hour, 4 times, each time the phone cut off. But when I finally got through, it was well worthwhile. The people were charming, as indeed I would expect them to be. But they couldn't do anything. And they didn't have any information, really. They didn't have the tools available to give me the information. So we are in a very, very strange position with respect to the services that are provided to us, because we've got into a habit, these services have got into a habit of dictating what they can do. So we, the customers, are completely emasculated. We can do nothing. We are told that they want to help. That means they're not interested in what we've got to say. They have a series of options, and if our concerns fall outside those options, they can do nothing. Indeed, they'll probably terminate the conversation. We need to revise the way that we provide services, because if we can't provide services that are reliable, actually those services aren't worth having. And I'm seriously wondering whether or not it would be better to go to another service provider and pay the penalty just so that I have reliability. BT came to the door the other day and said, no, Virgin doesn't use our cables at all. You've clearly not been given the right information. No, Virgin doesn't use the tower just down the road which is faulty. Clearly you've been given the wrong information. And yet, when I ask for copies of those conversations, I'm told that the conversations are only kept for training purposes and probably won't be available.